Okay, so all of you is most welcome in my second lecture that is based on machine to machine communication in aspect of Internet of Things domain, IoT domain. So in my last lecture I discussed about the so many fundamental concept of IoT and how the simple and dumb terminal become a smart terminal, become a IoT node by incorporating of embedded technology and information technology in the dumb terminal, like in the AC, in the fridge, in the TV, in the toothpaste, in the toothbrush, how the thing is converted, how the toothbrush is converted to IoT node by the embedded technology, by the information technology. If we incorporate embedded technology, information technology inside the object, then that particular object is converted into a IoT node, and we can say it is a smart node. So by the embedded technology and by the information technology, we are going to convert each and every physical object to the computing node, to the IoT node. So here in this lecture I am going to discuss how one machine of IoT network to communicate to another machine of IoT network directly means without the involvement of human being. There is no involvement of human being, and this domain, M2M domain of IoT computing, is going to change our living life, is going to change each and every aspects of the society, and it is going, no doubt it is very helpful for us, and it is going to help a lot of for us in businesses, in academic, in home, in each and every aspects of our living life. So we are so blessed by machine to machine communication of IoT domain. So I'll start my discussion with here is the first slide, and here in introduction module, and I have just summarized here. It is like this particular machine to machine communication. Here it is clearly mentioned over here. It is clearly mentioned over here. One machine can be communicate to another machine. Just a moment, please. Communication between the machine, or communication between the device, or communication between the IoT node. What are the important over here? Important is without the involvement of human being. Means in this communication, one machine is directly communicate to another machine without the interaction and without the involvement, zero involvement of the human. Human is nothing in between the machine to machine communication. Human is nothing there. Okay? Like suppose in industry, we know very well SCADA system. SCADA system is actually control system that we are using in industry. In industry, SCADA is actually a wired communication network, wired isolated system. So it is basically used for the control operation. It is used for all kind of inventory control, all kind of policy control, all kind of management, all kind of skill development inside the street. But in SCADA, machine controlling to another machine by the help of some wired network, by the help of some connected network. But in IoT and machine to machine domain, machine they are communicating to each other without the involvement of human. But it is sure that particular machine is a wireless type of machine. And here M2M communication, this particular communication is purely wireless communication. One machine is going to communicate to another machine, and there is no wired between them. So here IoT network is purely wireless communication. 99% of IoT network is wireless type. Few of the IoT network is a wired type, but majority of wireless network is a IoT network is a wireless type. So we can say SCADA and M2M. We can say M2M is the wireless version of SCADA, but it is not actual true. It is somehow, we can say it is M2M is the wireless version of SCADA. SCADA is actually existing system, and we are use SCADA system since last 10 to 20 years. So it is actually one of the control operation and control system that we already use in industry, and right now we are using M2M in smart home, in smart city, in smart villages, in smart transportation. So this is new era of computing, this is new era of technology. And here I am just going to tell you one live example of machine to machine communication. So I am saying one machine directly communicate to another machine, but here the picture is not clear. What the importance if one machine is going to communicate to another machine, and what kind of result we will get. Suppose I will start. I will start with an example. Suppose in a smart home, like just a moment. In a smart home, we are using ground rule. Smart home means all the home appliances are IoT mode. All the home appliance means fridge, AC, cooler, chair, table, everything, chair, table, everything. They all are IoT node, and they all are interconnected to each other by the wireless communication media. Somehow, suppose elderly people, they are living in a smart home. Elderly people, they are living in They are living in smart home, and 99% cases, majority of elderly people, they have the problem of walking problem. They have they have several kind of problems. They are not frequently moved from one place to another place. So walking problem, as well as breathing problem, as well as medical problem. So many kind of problem all the elderly people, they are facing. But right now we are living in isolated family, so no one going to help the elderly people in their home. So for that, scientists and researchers, they plant the ground robot in the smart home. Ground robot is a kind of machine. Suppose elderly people want the milk. Elderly people, old ager, they want the milk. They put the instruction to the robot, he kindly give me a glass of milk. So in this situation, first time human is involved. First time human involved, and human given the instruction to the robot. In first time, any robot read the instruction. Robot read the instruction. कहाँ से? From the human being. Once the robot read the instruction, robot go to the fridge, open the door of the fridge, and see the milk bottle inside the fridge. Search the milk bottle, milk pond from the bottle from the fridge, and it found the milk from the fridge. Pour the milk into the glass, and then this particular milk to hand over to the old lady. Pour the milk to the glass and finally hand over the milk to the old lady. If somehow, suppose once the robot opened the door of the fridge and robot found कि in the fridge, in the pond, there is no milk. Milk bottle is completely empty. Immediately, fridge or robot or milk pond directly send the message to milkman and ask them to give some milk in this form. Reason being, milk pond is empty. Milk pond is empty. And in this communication, only one time human is involved, human given the instruction to the robot, and meantime all the work is did by the machine. Machine open the door, machine search the pond, machine pour the milk inside the glass, and machine hand over the glass to the elderly people. And if the milk is not available in the fridge, machine directly send to the message to the Gwala, to the milkman, and ask the milkman to give the milk for this purpose. So in this communication, only one time human is involved and human put the request to the machine, and meantime all the thing is did by the machine. And similarly, elderly people face any kind of health issue, and every elderly people they are wearing different kind of tag in a smartphone, and the tag regularly monitor the vitals of the elderly people. Regularly, all the tag they are monitoring the vital of the old age elderly people. If somehow vital is not good, then machine directly send to the message to the doctor that this particular home, this particular person, the vital is not good, and you come here and start the treatment. So in this communication, there is no involvement of the human being. Machine directly sends the data, and machine read the data, and machine directly send to the message to the doctor, and doctor will start the treatment. So this is one of the biggest advantage of machine to machine communication. One time, initially, we put the request to the machine, and meantime your problem is fully solved by the machine, and meantime if anything is going to be happen, then machine automatically solve that particular things. So this is the advantage of machine to machine communication in IoT devices, and we are so happy by this technology, by this approach. And no doubt in smart home, in smart cities, in smart medical centers, so this kind of facility is available, and everyone is going to use this kind of facility. So right now in coming days, IoT is more and more popular just because of positive facilities available inside the IoT. Here in this example, suppose this is also the good example of machine to machine communication. Here in picture one, suppose accident. There is an accident in this situation. Two cars, they had the accident. Meantime, to the highway or somewhere, and every car having the sensor devices, IoT node. Every car contain the IoT node. IoT node send the data to the IoT server. This is wireless communication. So they send the data to the wireless server. Wireless server means this server. Server receive the data, and server send that particular data automatically without involvement of human being. There is had an accident. Car send the data to the wireless server, to the data center server. Data center server automatically send the message to the hospital. Data center server automatically send the message to the doctor. Data center automatically send the message to the van, and it's also alert the paramedical staff. Immediately van rush to the accident place and take out the patient from there, take out the patient from there, and after that the treatment will start with minimum delay, with minimum amount of time. So this is the example of machine to machine communication. Once in the traditional system, once there is an accident on the roadside. So first of all, no one going to touch the body, no one going to touch the car. They are get scared before the investigation of the policeman. Before the investigation of policeman, we are not going to do any kind of things. Then police rush to the spot and police will start the remaining process. So the delay is minimized by the IoT technology. First of all, the treatment will start, and after that, whatever the remaining step, whatever the remaining thing, then that particular remaining thing is automatically justified, automatically solved. So this IoT technology, car automatically send the message to the data center, and data center further distribute the message to the hospital, to the doctor, to the ambulance, to the paramedical staff, and everybody they get alerted and they prepare their own, and treatment will start to the so that the disease, so that the patient, so that the sufferer can easily get the medicine, can easily get the treatment. So this is the positive things of the machine to machine communication. One of the biggest and one of the positive attribute of machine to machine communication. This is possible just because of IoT, just because of smart city, just because of smart home, just because of IoT node. So IoT node is the basic building block of all kind of smartness. If you are going to make the smart of your system, if you are going to make the smart of your academic institution, if you are going to make the smart of your university, if you are going to make the smart of the transportation, then you have to think about the machine to machine communication and IoT networking. This is one domain of IoT networking. So this is one of the biggest and one of the good example of machine to machine communication. There is no human involved. Human is the receiver over here. Here is doctor. Doctor is receiving the message only. Doctor is not submitting anything. Doctor actually put on the alert by the machine. You should start the treatment. There is an accident, there is a sufferer, and sufferer will come at your place and you will start the treatment. So doctor is not submitting any kind of instruction to the machine. Doctor is only listening. Doctor is only receiver. He received the message from the data center. And hospital is also kind of machine. Ambulance, it contain the IoT node. And paramedical staff, he is also receiver. He is putting on the he is got the message, you have to get ready and you will start to help the doctors. There is an emergency and you have to go to that hospital. So each and everything in this domain, machine directly take the action, machine directly send the data, machine directly perform the action, and once the human is involved in meantime in this picture, but here human is the receiver. Human receive the instruction from the machine. Human is not going to give the instruction to the machine. The machine to machine communication is one of the good aspect, one of the good characteristics of IoT networking, IoT node. So I will be move forward, and here in this discussion is also showing machine to machine discussion. Here, as we know, in IoT networking, IoT computing, IoT smartness, the sensor sense the environment. Sensor is actually generating the data, and your data is going to be proceed, and your data, sensor data, going to be computed by the processing element, and it will transfer by the IoT networking. Then information is going to be extracted, and information data and information going to be proceed. So meantime your data is going to be proceed by these steps, and finally data come to the actuator portion. Actuator portion means for output device, and sensor is the input device. So data is going to be inputted by here, and action is going to be performed by this. Suppose in this situation, one machine send the data, and suppose there is no rain, and farmer wants the water for the land, and there is no rain. So how the machine understand this particular thing? Sensor send the data, machine accept that particular data, and machine read the data, and machine found the humidity, the soil condition is not good. Humidity and soil condition is not good. Machine check everything. Machine actually, first of all, user put the request to the machine कि you have to open the valve of the water. How the machine open the valve? First of all, machine check the soil condition of the land, and the machine will find that this particular soil have no moisture, this particular soil have no water. Immediately machine open the valve of the tank, and water is going to be poured inside the on the side of whole land. So this is example of farming of smart farming of sensor computing. By the smart farming, this particular thing is going to be achieved. Sensor sense, by the networking, the data is going to be sent from one node to another node. By the processing, it is decided this particular soil have no water, and by the actuator, valve pump is going to be open. So by the actuator, valve pump is open, then water is going to be poured to the land. So this is machine to machine communication, but how the action is going to perform? Action is going to perform by the actuator, and how the data is going to be read? Data is going to be read by the sensor. So this is two important aspects that we have to understand by this picture. By this picture we have to understand there are two different and main aspects of the discussion. So in this machine to machine communication, all kind of thing, all kind of problem is going to be computed without the involvement of human. Once the human put the instruction, then after that human is only receiver. Human receive the information. Human only see the thing is going on. Machine automatically solve the problem. Machine automatically do the surgery. Machine automatically open the pump valve. Machine automatically help the elderly people. Machine automatically put the request to the milkman. Machine automatically cook the food. Machine automatically clean the bottle, clean the tub, clean the burden of the kitchen, everything. Machine automatically put the pocha and jhadu and each and everything. Whatever the thing is required for smart cleaning, for smart living of the life. Machine automatically shut the fridge. Machine automatically shut the AC. So each and everything is automatically did by the machine in machine to machine communication. Once we show the interest. Once the people show the interest, Alexa, please open this sound. So this is example of machine to machine communication. Once we put the instruction, then after that we are listening the sound. Alexa, please open the door. Alexa, please open the fridge. Alexa, please open the AC. So we are only putting the request, and after that each and everything is going to be performed by the machine. So where the machine to machine application is massively used, drastically used, where we are using machine to machine application more and more. So for environment monitoring. Environment monitoring means we are monitoring the environment when the rain in the Lucknow, when what are the atmospheric pressure of today, what the maximum temperature of today, and what the humidity, how the pollution rate. Each and everything is monitored by IoT machine. IoT machine automatically monitor the weather environment condition, and IoT machine send the data to the actuator. Actuator is also part of the IoT machine. Actuator acts accordingly. Civil production and public safety. And as in my previous lecture I discussed, we are massively use IoT network for LOC and LAC region. We are using IoT network there. Every country like India, Pakistan, China, they are deploying the sensor network at the border region. So sensor sense the data and automatically detect there is any kind of problem is going on onto the border region, and send all kind of activities directly to the server. So this particular network, this particular machine to machine application, we are using for the safety of the civilian, for the protection purpose, and for also monitor the militant activity at the border region. We are also using machine to machine communication in businesses, supply chain management. We massively use this particular machine to machine communication in businesses. By IoT network, sentiment can be analyzed, sentiment can be monitored, and sentiment of the customer can be calculated, and it's also detect the purchasing power of the customer, and it's also provide the lower window to the customer. So IoT network is very helpful in supply chain management. IoT network, IoT node, IoT computing, IoT machines are massively used in smart grid, in power corporation, for managing the energy, for distributing the energy, for bidding the energy, and for improving the output of the income. By the IoT network, it is going to minimize the wastage of energy. At what time the energy demand is so more, and what time energy demand is not more. So this thing is actually decided by the IoT network. IoT network is actually also used for intelligent transport system. Means for in case of artificial intelligence, in case of transportation system, everything for optimization. So IoT network is also used for intelligent transportation system. In intelligent transportation system, we are massively use IoT network. Healthcare, we know very well, IoT system are massively used in healthcare to support the doctor, to support the pathologist, to support the patient, to support the paramedical staff. So massively used to support the telemedicine. IoT network is very helpful in all kind of aspects. For building design, for military application, in agriculture, everywhere IoT network is going to be. Okay, all kind of smart activities is actually did by IoT network. Smart activity did by IoT machine. This is main line. IoT machine we are using for all kind of smart activity. चाहे वो स्मार्ट होम की बात हो, चाहे वो स्मार्ट सिस्टम की बात हो, everywhere we are using IoT machine, IoT node, IoT network. If you are concerned about the smartness means something have the intelligence, something have the decision taking power, something have the communication power, something have the cognitive power. So this kind of thing is actually inbuilt in IoT network by the help of embedded and information technology and artificial intelligence technology. It is very helpful for us. So in my consecutive discussion, I will be moved forward. Just a moment. So we are so blessed with the IoT technology and IoT network, and no doubt it is going to help to the agriculture, to the farmer, to the healthcare, everywhere we are using IoT system. For machine to machine communication, what kind of feature is actually involved? What kind of thing is actually required? So first of all, we require a large number of node or device, means large number of machine is required. For machine to communication means for smart, if we are talking about the smart home, so we require AC, we require fridge, we require TV, we require chair, table, all kind of thing, and all kind of thing is a smart type, means there is embedded technology. So large number of node or large number of device is actually required for machine to machine communication. Okay? And it is also, every device and everything is actually very low cost, and they are also energy efficient. Means sometimes they are not in the active state, they went into the sleep mode. They directly went into the sleep mode so that power can be minimized. And IoT node is basically used for many applications, for small traffic, management and in traffic controlling. So this particular thing is also the application of IoT. And IoT machine is actually their purpose to collect large amount of data. Like if we are concerned about the supply chain management, then IoT node of supply chain management contain large amount of business data, so that data analytics and data engineer, data scientists, they can analyze the data and further they will take the action. And whose customer is going to ask what kind of item, what kind of things is required in the coming days. So they are actually reading and the data, and they are also reading the purchasing power of the customer. By the help of machine, each and everything is going to be decided. Who is going to visit Amazon site for purchasing of items, who is going to visit Flipkart site for purchasing of items. So this thing is actually did by the machine. There is no human involvement. Machine collect the data, machine analyze the data, and machine decided whose member, who is going to open more and more Amazon site, and which item, which particular object is actually he is searching. So they are after some time they providing the lower window to the searcher, to the end user. So large quantity of data is going to be collected, and large quantity of analysis, large kind of analysis is also did by the machine. There is no human involvement. There is no human involvement in this communication, in this organization. So I'll be continue. So we have several kind of machine to machine node. Means for machine to machine communication, we know very well what is machine to machine communication. Machine directly communicate to another machine without the involvement of human being. But here different kind of machine is actually available. Different kind of machine to machine node is actually available. First is low end node, second kind of mid end node, third kind of high end node. So we have three different kind of node is available for machine to machine communication. So what are the characteristics of low end node and mid end node and high end node? We will see in the consecutive lectures. So here, what are the characteristics and what the meaning of low end node of machine to machine? So first of all, low end node means node having a very low cost, very cheap cost. Cost wise is very cheap. Cost wise is very cheap, and having very low capability of computing. I'm concerned about the low end sensor node, low end machine to machine node. So low end node, those node have the cost is very cheap, cost is very less, and their computing capability is also limited, and they are static, they are energy efficient, and they are simple. Deployment of that particular node is high density in order to increase network lifetime. Means they are actually deploying to very nearly. They are high density, means in a certain region number of low end node is very high. Number of low end node is very high. So high density node means in the region, in the small distance, low density node is number of low density node is high. Reason being for improving of lifetime of the network. If some node is out of order, some node is not functioning, so meantime the responsibility of that node will take care by the adjacent node of that cluster. There is a condition of resource constraint. There is a condition of no IP support. Reason being we have a limited IP addresses, so we are not in the position to assign all the physical object to the IP address. So we are actually designing the IT node, two types of IT node. One is IP based and another is no IP based. So they are without IP node. They are without IP based networked IoT node and IoT network. Basic functionality. What the functionality of low end sensor? They are generating the data. First of all, they are generating the data, such as data aggregation, auto configuration and power saving. So data aggregation and what the data is going to be generated, and they are auto configure, means they can shape their size and their requirement and their configuration, and they are also have the responsibility to save the power. So we are using a low end sensor node in IoT for machine to machine communication. And what the characteristic of low end sensor node, that is written over here. A low end sensor node have no IP addresses. They are in the network without the IP. Without the IP. How this thing is going to be happen? We have to use TCP IP model for coordinating all the things, but all the computing node in this low end sensor machine is no IP. There is no IP support. IP means logical address and MIC means physical address. So in this there is no IP support is required. We are not in position to provide the IP address of all the nodes. So we have to ultimately we have to survive anyhow, and we have to design. And the meaning of high density is number of computing node is high into a cluster. So this is high density range, and low density means in the cluster number of computing node is limited. Okay, mid-end sensor node. Mid-end sensor node up to with the comparison of low-end sensor node, the cost of mid-end sensor node is actually expensive. Not much more expensive, but it is with respect to the low-end sensor node, the cost is expensive, and a node have the mobility. Before that we discussed node have the static power. They are not in the mobile position. They are stationary. They are communicating to it. Doorbell and AC point. They are low-end sensor node. They are static in the nature. They are not going to communicate to each other. Tube light and switch. They are static in nature. They are not going to be communicate to each other. But the robot have mid-end sensor node. It is going to be moved from one position to another position. Without moving, it's not go to the fridge. It's not go to open the door of the fridge. So robot have the mobility power, and robot come in the domain of mid-end sensor node. Power constraints. Power constraints is also all kind of sensor have the power constraints. And with respect to complexity and energy efficiency. So fever constraints. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Fever constraint. Power constraints is also one of the biggest issues in IoT node. So power constraints is associated to all kind of machine. Power constraints is also associated, but the some another constraints is also associated here, that is complexity and energy saving. Energy saving is related to power constraint. Okay. Additional functionality such as localization. Localization means addressing. Quality of services. What kind of computing, what kind of services is going to be given by mid-edge sensor node. Support TCP IP support is provided by the designer. Traffic controlling and intelligence. So this kind of thing is automatically defined in mid-edge sensor node. Intelligence means it can automatically solve the problem. Intelligence means it behave like a somehow some of the characteristics of human being is going to be defined in mid-end sensor node. If any machine, if any node, if any device is intelligence, it means that particular machine, that particular device, that particular things have somehow the human characteristics. Somehow it have the learning capability. Somehow it used to learn from the environment. Somehow it used to learn from the problem. Somehow it used to learn from the opponent. So mid-end sensor node have the intelligence power. I put the request, please go to open the door, and machine went to the fridge, machine went to the fridge, open the door of the fridge and take the pond, and machine find there is no milk. So automatically machine take the action. So how the machine automatically take the action? Just because of intelligency characteristics. If the machine have the intelligency characteristics, then it automatically send the message to the milkman. There is no milk, you have to give me 2 or 3 liters of milk for the survival of the elderly people, for the survival of the person who is living in a smart home. So there is a dust, there is a kuda, there is a kachada. So this thing can be directly solved by the mid-end sensor node. Mid-end sensor node. So low-end sensor node means they are static. Mid-end sensor node, they are dynamic. They have the moving power. They can visit from one place to another place, and they take the action. But as per the cost point of view, the mid-end sensor node have more cost with respect to less end sensor node. Machine to machine communication is actually going to change each and everything in coming days. Machine automatically take every actions. High-end sensor node. High-end sensor node means the node have low density of deployment. Means एक node यहाँ पे है and another node is actually deployed over here, and another node deployed here, another node deployed here. Reason being, there is a huge amount of cost. The cost is associated with high-end sensor node. Able to handle multimedia data, huge amount of data, bulk amount of data, big data is going to be handled by high-end sensor node. Mobility is essential. Without mobility, there is no role. Smartphone, जो हम लोग फ़ोन यूज़ करते हैं, that is the example of high-end sensor node. High-end sensor node. So this thing is also actually controlled and coordinated by TCP/IP model, TCP/IP, and low-end sensor node, that is also coordinated and controlled by TCP/IP. These two models actually IP based, and before that low-end model is actually, that model is without IP base. Without IP base. So we have to map without IP based model to the IP based model with the help of some of hybrid technology, and it will be discussed in the subsequent lectures. So these three nodes are actually having different kind of characteristics: low, mid, and high. Low, mid, and high. Machine to machine ecosystem. What is machine to machine ecosystem? Device provider, internet service provider, platform provider, service provider, service user. So these four buildings are required for machine to machine communication, and they are the ecosystem of machine to machine. One machine is going to communicate to another machine directly without the involvement of human. So somehow we have to discuss these four aspects, these four modules, and I'll start one by one. I'll start one by one. Here, device provider. Suppose these are the suppose these are the devices. These are the low end, high end, and mid end nodes, machine to machine node, and the person who is provide this particular node is known as device provider. This person is provided us the node, and all the machine to machine computing node going to be connected to the internet by the help of gateway, and with the help of restful architecture. Restful architecture, somehow it is going to make the interface between the IoT node to the internet with the help of gateway. Restful architecture means it is going to provide the interface in between IoT node and the internet. Internet is actually given by the internet service provider. So device provider means IoT device provider. ISP means internet service provider. Once internet is going to be read the data and write the data to the IoT node, then the thing is going to be transferred to the platform provider. In platform, in IoT computing platform, device management, user management, data analysis and user access. These four components are required. Without these four components, your IoT platform is not completed. Device management, IoT device, how the IoT device is going to be managed, what kind of protocol is required, what the size of the packet and what the rate of the packet, how the packet is going to be transferred from IoT node to the internet, and who is going to manage, how many user is required, and what amount of data is computing, what amount of data is collected. So that thing is actually decided and coordinated and calculated by the platform provider. Platform means the four things. You should know the meaning of platform. Meaning of platform, somehow the question is going to be asked by the examiner, by the expert. What the meaning of platform? Platform means nothing. Platform means device. Platform means user. Platform means data. Or platform means how to access that particular data by the mobile system or by the internet system, by the www or by the mobile play store. Then the thing is calculated. Then finally we will move to the business model. We will move for the actuator position. Then business model use the result is given by the platform provider and it use that particular result and take the action. Business model is actually take the result from where? From platform provider, and after that platform provider business model take the action. So by this connectivity, so we can say we clearly understand the meaning of device provider, the meaning of internet service provider, and meaning of platform, and meaning of business model. Business model means where we are going to deploy our IoT computer, IoT node. And for what purpose? We know, no doubt our purpose is very clear. We want to make more and more profit. We want to generate more and more revenue with minimum involvement of expenses, so that we are using machine to minimize the expenses. I'll be continue just a moment. What the thing inside the service provider, M2M service provider. Before that we discuss about various component of device provider, platform provider, internet service provider and users. But in the next consecutive slides I am just going to discuss M2S service platform. If I am using machine to machine architecture for services, then we required device, we required user, we required application software, and we required the access capability of application software. So for device, no doubt we have to require machine to machine type of computing node, low end, mid end and high end. Both kind of all kind of node is acceptable over here. So we require device. How the device profile is managed, how the device network is going to be created, and how the device is going to be searched inside the network, that is the main responsibility of the devices. Here device profile means Pentium 2, Pentium 1, fridge, AC cooler, static, dynamic, mobile, and low cost, mid cost, high cost. What kind of device? That is actually the thing is going to be justified over here. The thing is going to be justified over here. The thing is justified over here. And user, who is going to access? Any expert is going to access the device. So what the profile of the expert, and how the expert is going to log the IoT network, authentication, charging. If any amount we will charge the expert. So this thing is actually come in the domain of user. And what kind of application? Data is created, data is controlled, data actually serviced by management, and data is actually analyzed and data is actually abstracted for what purpose. So this thing is actually coordinated and controlled by application module, and after that we will access the network, and that particular thing will transfer to another M2M network with the help of access network, with the help of middleware. So this middleware take the result from here and transfer the result to M2M an area network, M2M another area network. So this is actually this thing is actually performed in one M2M network, and whatever the output is generated in one M2M network, that output with the help of access network transferred to another M2M network, and this process is going on in IoT computing, IoT networking, in machine-to-machine communication module, So this is also one of the important aspects of machine-to-machine communication. Everything is actually related to computer network, but somehow in computer network machine is totally dumb. Machine did take any kind of self action without the involvement of human, but in this discussion, in this networking, machine will take the action without the involvement of human. By the same protocol, we are defining the intelligence concept inside the machine. We are introducing some kind of cognitive approach inside the machine. We are also define the programming skill so that machine can take the rational decision in the meantime of computing. And after that, what kind of decision is generated, what kind of action is generated, what kind of output is generated. So that output will transfer to another network, to another machine, so that one machine and another machine will communicate to each other, and they perform their action as per the control instruction is given by machine, is given by one machine to another machine. So proper smoothness, proper computing, this thing is actually adopted by the researcher. What is actually M2M device platform? Device platform means enable access to object or device connected to the internet. Device platform, what the thing is actually inside the device platform. So in device platform, the thing is in the platform, actually we are talking about first of all we are talking about the object, we are talking about the device, we are talking about the connected of device, kisse? By the mean of internet service provider, by the mean of internet. So internet, by the mean of internet, all the IoT machine is actually going to be connected. Before two slides we have discussed the device provider provide us device, and with the help of internet service provider all the device is going to be connected with the internet. Okay. Every device is registered, create own database, create own objects, and they also their own log for managing, for user accessing, for services. Each kind of thing is going to be performed by their own management software. Managing profile, localization, device type, addresses and discretion is also in the domain of device platform. So we are actually in this slide we are discussing what are the meaning of device platform. So meaning of device platform is nothing. Meaning of device platform means device, their location, their connectivity, their log, their database, their object, their decision, their localization, their type, their addressing. So this is actually M2M device platform. M2M device platform. This is actually M2M device platform. Here, what the meaning of user platform? M2M user platform. In M2M user platform, we are concerned about the user. Means user profile, here user profile has provide functionality such as user registration, modification, charging, inquiry, interoperability. So this is actually M2M user platform. For what purpose? For operating machine-to-machine architecture. So somehow user is not directly involved, but the first time when the user put the request, so what kind of user is actually going to access M2M architecture? So for that we have to make the list of the user. So all kind of thing is written over here. This kind of user is going to access M2M device. And what kind of application, what kind of software, what kind of thing is actually run in M2M machine. So the thing is written over here clearly. Provide integrated services. Provide integrated services based on device collected database. What kind of data is collected by the devices? What kind of data? Data is actually analyzed, data is collected. Terrorist data is collected over here, border data collected over here. So what kind of data is collected over here? On the basis of that data, actuator perform the action. Actuator perform that action. So for application point of view, what kind of application is required inside the sensor node? So it is going to be decided, means what type of data we want to collect. We want to collect the terrorist activity record data, so we have to install the application of the same type. We want to collect the medical related data, then we have to record the medical software onto the machine. So for which purpose we want to design the machine? So that for that purpose we want to the machine, we have to install the application of the purpose data. Here, heterogeneous data merging from various devices used for creating new services. Heterogeneous data merging from various devices used to create the new services. Collecting, control, processing, means in overall discussion we are concerned about the application software. What kind of application software is required for M2M application platform? So for what purpose we want to design the network? That purpose we have to take the application software and we have to install that particular application software to the computing node, So this is one of the biggest drastic change in the coming time, hopefully. And this is access platform. The thing is written over here. Provide app or web access environment to the user. Means so many kind of mobile app and so many kind of web access www type of environment is already have for accessing M2M machines, and app link directly to the service provider, means ISP. He is concerned about the ISP. App is directly linked to the service provider. Service is actually provided through this platform to the M2M devices. Provide app management for smart device application. So it is actually concerned about the M2M machine access capability. M2M machine access capability. How the M2M machine is going to be accessed? By the help of these things. Here. So in this concern, I've already discussed about low-end node. Low-end node is actually they are IP-less. So some of the M2M machine is IP based and some of the M2M machine is without IP based. So how the thing is going to be happen? How the without IP machine is going to be connected with the IP based machine with the help of TCP/IP? So TCP/IP means this particular TCP/IP is not the same as the TCP/IP of computer network. It have a lot of differences as per the application point of view, as per the transport layer computing, as per the as transport layer computing. Just a minute. The role and responsibility of every layer is actually somehow changed. Here the data is actually generated from here, and data goes back directly, and it further come into the middle layer. And here the application layer of middle node is actually translate the packet, translate the data, translate the information from non-IP to IP, and finally the thing is transferred to the machine to machine. Machine is non-IP over here, it generates the packet, and the packet is come to the middle layer, middle node, and middle node will have the responsibility to convert non-IP packet to the IP packet basis of their own definition, basis their own capability, basis their own characteristics. So all kind of non-IP is going to be made, going to be mapped into the IP version. But somehow non-IP computing is actually not efficient computing, not a good computing. Somehow we have to make a different kind of IoT network that will start from basic, from crunch. So that particular network we will use in the coming days and coming time. Here IP based computing means M2M is IP based, and internet is also IP based. So there is no transition is required. The data is generated from M2M and it goes directly to the IP network without any kind of hassle. So the thing is smooth over here. Before in the last discussion, the thing was complicated. In meantime, the packet is translated from non-IP to IP, from machine to non-IP. So there is a complicated translation scheme on the middle node. By the translation, the communication and computing is going on in between M2M and internets. So M2M area management feature, where we are going to be applied, and what are the characteristics of M2M computing node. So actually the first thing is of M2M computing node is they are having the characteristics of fault tolerance. Fault tolerance means the machine automatically detect the fault inside the machine and automatically correct the fault. Means machine have a capability to automatically detect the problem inside the machine and automatically diagnose the problem and correct the problem automatically without knowing to any another machine or the user. Means robot if got failed in meantime, then robot have diagnosed the problem and robot automatically correct that particular problem. Like the Chitti robot in the movie that we seen in the movie, it automatically correct the problem. And scalable. Scalable means no doubt IoT network is going to be expanded and we are going to be add more and more IoT node in the IoT network. So if the network is scalable type, if machine is scalable type means if we are adding something else in this architecture, then the performance of overall architecture is not going to be affected. The performance remain unchanged. Throughput, MIPS rate, computing, delay, each and everything unchanged. So it means the architecture is scalable type. And no doubt cost is very, very important for us, and complexity is also important for us. We want the efficient, we want the good network with low cost, and that particular network have low complexity. It can easily understand your feeling. Machine can easily understand your instruction, and machine perform as per your guidance. Machine should be energy efficient. We are not going to put more cost for the fuel, for the electricity, for the charging, for another kind of thing. And the machine has the dynamic configuration capability. Means we are going to deploy the same kind of architecture to the various purpose. We have to deploy the same machine in the smart home. We are also going to deploy the same machine for a smart road. We are going to deploy the same machine for smart environment detection. So we are going to use the same kind of machine to the various purpose, and machine automatically reconfigure the features. And it also used to minimize the management traffic. So no doubt, suppose in a smart traffic system, machine directly send to the message to you directly on your mobile phone. In this path there is a huge jam, so you cannot go with this particular path, otherwise your time is going to be increased. So you have to take another direction for moving from one place to another place. So this is also going to minimize the overall traffic. So this is one of the biggest important thing for us. We got the message to the mobile. immediately. Before that, right now we are searching the traffic on Google Map. But once we start the moving from my place to Integral University, and I got the message on my mobile, if you are moving from here to Integral and there is a huge jam, so you cannot go directly. You will take alternative path before, otherwise you will get stuck in meantime of the job. So this thing is automatically sent by the machine. Application dependency. What kind of application that we are going to use? So it is actually machine is going to be dependent on the application. Means if somehow machine is deployed for environment, for weather forecasting, so that particular purpose machine will work. And somehow if we are using that particular same machine for some another purpose, so we can change the application. And no doubt data is important. Data is going to be collected from the machine. Huge data is going to be collected from the machine, and we are much bothered about the data, and we want the data. So data centric application is required, emergency application is also required, and real time analysis and real time data generation is also required for M2M area management feature. So this is the end of my discussion, and hopefully all of you got something from my discussion. Two important point is two things that is very important. One is how the dumb terminal going to be converted into a IoT node. So by embedded technology, any dumb terminal like bulb, like switch, like fridge, like TV, like mobile, and any dumb terminal going to be converted into a IoT node. So we can plant inside the embedded chip in the dumb terminal, then dumb terminal converted into a IoT node. Once the IoT node is generated, then we can use that particular IoT node for the formation of IoT network. Once the IoT network we form, then we can use IoT network to the various purposes. Like we can use the IoT network for smart city. We can use IoT network for smart home. We can use IoT network for fraud detection and fraud correction and fraud detection purpose. We can IoT node for cyber crime purpose. We can IoT node to IoT network to minimize the congestion of the network. We can use IoT network for smart healthcare. We can use IoT network for inside the diagnostic center. We can use IoT network in surgery. We can use IoT network in diagnostic of various malign disease. We can IoT network for each and everything, in the route detection, in the flight route detection, in the railway route detection, and no doubt we can also, right now we are using IoT node, IoT computing, IoT network for data analysis. Scientists and data analytics, they are using huge amount of data to analyze the sentiment of the user, and in politics, in selling, in everywhere, data analysis and data analytics is actually going to change the things. Basis of history of data, and data engineer, data analysis engineer, they predict the future. Like in the elections, they are spreading a lot kind of things, and meantime they are collecting the data, how the public get confused, how the public get polarized, and on the basis of that data they take the decision, they take the further action. Politicians, they take the further action, and after the election everything went into the dormant. So whatever the thing they committed, whatever the thing they are saying meantime of campaigning, meantime of election, they went into the dormant. So data analytics, data engineering, and no doubt IoT is going to help us to somehow this technology have some positive points, some positive features. So it's also associated something as a negative features. So we will discuss. That's all for today lecture. If anyone have any doubts, any queries, let me ask. You can put your query, you can put your question into the chat box, and we will let you know meantime after some time. And thank you very much. Keep it up. God bless you, all of you. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for organizing committee members, and
Dr. Shri Sharma sir and Dr. Abhima Sadia, you people have did a wonderful job for the student, and no doubt our student is going to benefited by this value added courses, and in future we are going to come with a new concept and new technology and new thoughts, and we are going to wish you all the best for your coming future. Thank you very much to all of you.